Jay is going to take that chair.
Yes.
Chris is going to come over here and take this chair.
Okay.
Yeah, we
And
won't mention the chair that Dr. T is.
yeah, I'm going to go find another chair.
Oh Lord, if nothing could be said on the air, that is the thing that could not be said on the air. Thank you so much. Good morning. It's Wired Wednesday with McKenna Hansen. And what can I say about how much of beautiful weather we've had the last 2 days? I love fall time. I love drizzly rain.
And I love the rain too.
It's incredible. And we need the rain to, oh my gosh, for like that last, hour or two of the day, it was pretty awesome. So, thank you for joining us. Marshall Sherritt, excuse me. And our new deputy fire marshal, Greg Orlowski, in studio today. And it is Fire Prevention Week. It's amazing how fast that has come full circle. I feel like one of our first shows was during that week, or we missed it by a week last year. And so I've really appreciated you guys coming on and making sure that the community is informed about these different events and different things going on and how we can make our community safer. So take it away, Mike. What do we need to be doing? Where are we at?
Hey, yeah, as you mentioned, this week is Fire Prevention Week. Begins October 3rd. It always runs the week that contains October 9th. And a little bit of history there, that Fire Prevention Week is the longest running public health and safety observance in the nation. It's a national initiative that began in about 1925. So
wow.
It's been going on a long time. One of the big things that we really like to push this week is check your smoke alarms in your home. This is the week to change those batteries. The National Fire Protection Association recommends that those batteries get changed every 6 months. So if you didn't do it 6 months ago, do it this week. So that's kind of the push of Fire Prevention Week, is that home fire safety.
So with checking batteries and changing batteries, I know growing up in the 80s and 90s that I did, checking your batteries meant taking a certain something and putting it on your tongue. Is that still an effective way?
Sure. If your pain tolerance is fairly high and that's how you choose to do it, that's great. Something else that we recommend is if it's just been a year, just throw them out and put new ones in, and then you know for sure.
But the little label says up to like 20 years or something.
Sure,
There are 10-year batteries,
yeah.
so you can get a 10-year battery. The best thing to do on that is both label the battery itself, but when you put it in, and label on the outside of the detector with a piece of tape, then that way you know when you put it in.
That is interesting. I was just being sarcastic. I didn't know that we could really use them for 10 years. I thought it was the storage life, not the usage life. Anyways, so with covering in a fire or smoke detector, we want to make sure that we're not putting the tape over the actual vents to receive the smoke to notify us of such event.
Yeah, right. So some other recommendations that NFPA has that we can highlight this week. You should actually be testing the smoke alarms in your home monthly. Monthly, yeah. So
that bacon grease does or does not count as a test.
That's not a good test. There is, however, a little button on every smoke alarm that you can push, right? You push that button.
For me, it's a broom handle,
Sure,
but yes.
broom handle, a ladder, but be careful on the ladder.
Something steady for you to stand on.
Yep. Go ahead and test those every month. Again, NFPA is just full of these useful little tidbits, and they like to say, make the first Saturday of every month smoke alarm Saturday in your home.
Okay.
Test your smoke alarms, and then of course during this week, that's when you should really look at the detectors, change batteries. Something else of note with smoke alarms is if they're 10 years old, then the entire detector probably needs to be replaced.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. So let's go through how many smoke detectors or what rooms have to have smoke detectors to be up to, I'll say fire code,
Okay,
right? And then I know that with the new technology that we have in homes is they're being built, but let's say I have a 1960 home, and the newer houses actually have smoke detectors hardwired in so that if one goes off, all of them go off. right?
Right.
How do I make sure my house is appropriately covered? And then is there a way to make sure everything's distinct, even though I'm in an older home?
Absolutely. So the detectors are available today. You can purchase the detectors to put in each room. So you'll have one in each bedroom, one in your hallway. And then depending on the rest of the home, we advise people do not put them anywhere near your kitchen area. So just outside in the living area is fine. But we do get a lot of false alarms that are close to the kitchen because of the nature of cooking and things that go on. There's a little joke we have about knowing when the cookies are done in the stove is when the smoke alarm's going off. That's
Yes.
Which is also not an approved test. of-
not a
No.
tongue in cheek, of course.
Burn dinner. Burn dinner does not qualify as
That
a-
does not qualify.
Gratefully, my husband eats all the burned dinner that I cook.
Yeah,
But yeah, so to meet fire code, as Greg said, you should have one in every bedroom, in every sleeping area, and then in the hallway outside of those areas. But we don't want them in kitchens or bathrooms.
Okay, kitchens and bathrooms.
we do
So,
have
but
a lot
just-
of false alarms, just as a note, if it's close in the hallway to a bathroom and you come out of a steamy bathroom, that will set the detector off.
Absolutely.
Oh, interesting.
Absolutely.
That's, I never knew that steam would set it off more than just smoke, I suppose.
Anything that breaks that electronic eye in the detector, even a spider, and that's
Including
another one.
dust and
Dust
spider
and
webs.
spiders.
So
Justin,
Yeah.
so you're saying
Yeah.
if they're if they're older than 10 years, we should just inherently go and dust them regardless.
oh, absolutely.
That's one of your preventative checks to do is there's an easy way to take the detector down. If it's hardwired, there's a clip that goes on the back that holds the wires on. Once
Okay,
you get the clip down, if you look on the back, on our Facebook page, Cedar City Fire Department, we just posted a little advisory, and it shows on the back of the detector the manufacture date. So if you look on that and it's within the 10 years, great. Test the battery, put a new battery in, dust it out, vacuum or blow air through it, through the canned air that you use on your computers, on
Okay.
keyboards and such, and then reinstall it. But make sure that cord that goes on the back, you'll have a wired cord, make sure it makes a positive clip, and then reinstall it by twisting it. So once you do that, go ahead and retest it. So if they're hardwired together, like you said, in the newer homes, all of the units should go off in your house. If it's individually, they will go off in the area where you do a check. Now, the newer systems, they will send a signal through the home. And if you do have an older home, you may put the newer type of units in that once you press one, they will all go off as well.
kind of like Bluetooth technology. They'll all
Correct.
communicate with
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
each other,
And
and
newer
those systems
technology.
are available.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That
So-
is so
And
great.
along with that, some of the newer technology also involves smoke alarms that contain a lithium ion battery. It's good for 10 years. So you don't have to worry about it. 10 years down the road, you just replace the entire unit. So
Oh, that's,
that's also available.
who knew that we were gonna make simplicity happen with all the fire things?
So a lot of these codes related to smoke alarms came about in the 70s. So that's kind of the date that we look at. If it's a pre-1970-ish home, they may or may not have smoke alarms where they need to be. They may not be working.
So let's say I am new to town and I just bought this fixer upper 1965. I have
Mhm.
no idea what's actually going on or not. Can I call the fire department to go and kind of do a walkthrough type of this
Absolutely.
situation?
Absolutely. We'd love to come out and take a look and see what you've got questions on. A lot of times the discerning thing that we find is if there's a nuisance alarm in somebody's home, they'll take the battery out, just leave the battery door open. If it's not hardwired, there's a chance that you may not get alerted.
Which is even more dangerous than
Yeah, sure.
not. So quickly going into October, I know that I burned my first fire last week,
Mhm.
and then I burned another one this week. What about my chimney? Do I need to do those creosote thing log, whatchamacallits, or do I just keep burning? Like, I mean, it's been, probably 6 or 7 months since I burned my last fire. What's kind of some preventative maintenance there?
Absolutely. So the recommended way to do that would be to have a certified chimney sweep come and take a look.
Okay,
Especially if you're burning wood, And the different types of wood, depending on what you burn, if they don't burn as hot, you get the creosote build up. And we do have a frequency of those type of fires this time of year, especially on mornings like this when it's a little colder. People want to have that fire get started. The ones that we also experience is some folks have an older unit in their home. They've had that installed for 20 years. It's been working fine. All along, if it's not installed properly, it might be in a situation where something's in the ceiling that's just getting ready to have a fire. We've had those.
So my home, my childhood home burned down in 2009. It was a total loss out in rural Nevada. Okay. How often, and it was a steel triple wall, you know, up through I want to say that the home was 1930. So it was definitely newer than 1930. But I guess like on masonry chimneys and those types of things, so full brick or triple walls, what's the age on those? Like what's really the lifespan of those? And when do we need to start getting them replaced or even looked at? I mean, other than seasonally.
It really depends on how often you use it. Some people might not use their fireplace the whole season. And some people use it for heat in their home on a daily basis. So it's really just a matter of how often it's used.
So it also depends on how well that original construction was done.
Installation.
Okay.
And then how well it's been maintained through the years. That's super important that inspection occur. So that if you do have leaks, you know, a masonry chimney can deteriorate over time. Some of the mortar can fall away from and make those connections.
One
less
of my
tight.
friends lost their homes through that.
Yeah, even the triple wall, which is rated and UL listed and safe, if the joints aren't installed correctly to begin with and then not maintained through the years, the creosote can leak out and accumulate on the wood framing members, and that once that we kind of call it the Swiss cheese, you know. So if all of the holes in the Swiss cheese line up, then you get a structure fire. So it might be okay for 20 or 30 years, but then the holes line up one day where there's that concentration of creosote, it reaches its auto ignition temperature, and then you have a structure fire. So maintenance is super important.
Are there a lot of certified chimney sweeps in this area? Or, I mean, that would be a question just in general to the general public. I wonder how many are out
If
there.
there are any out there, maybe give us a call.
Absolutely.
We're aware of a handful, a couple.
So you guys have a list at the station.
We have some business
cards that have been dropped
Some
off
of
over
the
the years.
folks have dropped by some
At
cards.
least 3
That's
for sure.
awesome. And I think that you guys are a good resource for them and they are for you. And I don't know, you know, all of the different specifics in that. With the end of summer, did we have a safer fire season this last summer, or was it pretty typical?
What would you say, Greg?
I would say it was pretty typical.
Yeah.
The local fires, and we'll just knock on wood here because we're not done yet. The
Agreed.
local fires, we didn't see the presence of our wildfires in this area like we did in years past. Of course, we had Brian Ed years ago, and we're coming off of our season where this is typically an area where we're starting to get moisture. So we're not seeing the resultant of the dried areas having issues. So now we jump into an area where we just spoke of. Okay, so now people are starting their wood fired home stoves. You mentioned the brick and mortar fireplaces. In some of the areas in Cedar, we have soils where the homes are shifting, and we've had instances where the brick and mortar start to deteriorate. And if you get impingement from a brick and mortar fireplace where there's enough heat that's going out into, say, a truss member, a wood member, over time it degrades and it will actually start a fire. And it might not be while the fireplace is operating. We've had a number of fires where people have gone to work for the day and they've come home to smoke-filled house. It happens.
And that's terrifying. I mean, and it goes into, you know, going back into just smoke detectors, because smoke detectors, at least from my memory, now that was just last week when I burned the bacon, but they're loud enough that I know I burned the bacon. I know, but then like running and chasing kids around, and then the dog needed something. It was just one catastrophe after another. I feel like the smoke detectors are loud enough that even neighbors can hear them.
So we've had, I just thought about that when you were talking about it. We've had people call in and say my neighbor's detector's going off. Okay, so is that a sign that there's actually a fire? Or is it beeping twice or 3 times where it needs to be replaced?
Or did someone burn the basement?
Or did somebody burn the bacon?
Is the battery dead? So we've had homes that were vacant and vacation homes, things of that nature. The unfortunate thing is we cannot enter the home, even if we do hear it. So we'll make a 360 around the home, checking through the windows if we can see something to see if, yes, there is something there. That is the home filled or charged with smoke, or is it simply just a dead battery? So
How hard is it to replace a smoke detector? Because they need to get replaced from time to time.
absolutely, they're very easy. And if anybody needs help with that, we're glad to help. There's a number of things on the internet where it shows you. YouTube's filled with, I call it YouTube University. It's filled with
Yes.
items where you could
Well, good and bad.
it'll walk through replacement.
Typical universities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you talk about the sounds and that's actually the theme of the fire prevention week this week is learn the sounds of fire safety. So if smoke alarms are a continuous 3-beat pattern, that means fire, get out. So
Okay.
they say that's a fire, get on your feet and get out and stay out, right? If you hear that chirp, that's typically a dead battery or a bad detector. So learn to differentiate those sounds, and it makes our job easier. We're not out on false alarms, and you also don't get that what we kind of call the annoyance factor. Where, man, this thing's driving me crazy. It always chirps. What time? 3 a.m. Right? It never chirped all day, but then it starts chirping at 2,
Right.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
So the tendency, as Greg mentioned, is to just pull that battery out and disable that thing. And that's the last thing that we want you to do. Give us a call, come out and help evaluate.
It's been probably a decade at least since I've had a fire in my wood burning stove.
Mhm.
A couple of reasons for that. One, we're not going down there. It's in the basement. And we don't go down there as much as we used to. And the other reason is that several years ago, a friend of ours was bringing my wife home from a camping. They were back in the driveway, hit the chimney and kind of,
Just watched it.
Yeah.
dislodged it.
Right.
And there's a little gap in there. I don't think I want to use this.
I think that's wise, Tim. I think it should probably be inspected.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of situations that we see often where something has occurred to damage that integrity of that, and then you get that leakage of smoke and superheated gases as you burn.
Now, but inside the chimney, isn't there a pipe that goes up?
So in the masonry chimneys, there's an actual inside of it, the masonry flue also.
Yeah, flue
So
tile.
the brick on the outside is merely decorative. It does have a purpose, but inside there's a flue that goes up through there in a masonry chimney. There's joints in that as well that figure 8 over time. Sure. But there's a possibility that's been dislodged. My recommendation in that is have the chimney sweep, see if they've got a camera that they could drop down in there. By camera, I mean either a cable or something.
Right.
Similar to what they use for plumbing, to check and see if there's a break in there. Then they can show you right away, yes, you've dislodged the chimney flue.
So,
Well, and-
so people, you can get inspected, I guess.
Yes. Well, and the other thing that I would suggest for our listeners too is, one, replace your batteries, every 6 months, and or check the dates on them for those lithium ion batteries.
Mhm.
Make sure that you have the smoke detectors in every bedroom, hallway, and living space, not kitchen or bathrooms.
Right.
And if you do question whether or not you bought an older home or they're succinct or not, please call our local fire department. They are more than willing to come out and help you guys. And if you've bought a newer or an older home and you're from out of town and you don't know whether or not the chimney's been backed into, as in Tim's case, please go to the local fire department. Again, they have contacts for chimney sweeps and chimney inspections where they can help you out.
Absolutely.
So in the last couple of minutes, how do we get a hold of you guys? Tell us, kind of wrap it up.
Great. So our number at the fire station, 435-586-2964. And we just mentioned just a second ago, Chief Shirts talked about the 3 a.m. nuisance calls. If your smoke alarm is doing this in the afternoon, the chirps, the beeps, you're not sure, you can't reach it, You might be elderly and you might have a situation where you just can't get to it. Call us, we'll come out and look at it. We'd rather do that before it becomes a nuisance to you. We could recommend either replacement. We have batteries as well that we've been supplied graciously by Firehouse Subs. I'll be going again. It's their time of year to grant in situations like this. We got extinguishers and alarms last year, and we're getting low on that supply, but we did get some 10-year batteries as well.
That's awesome.
We've had people call us and say, I've got a handful of brand new batteries. I just can't reach my alarms anymore. So we'll come out and take care of those for you.
We happen to carry ladders. So
Hey.
We do have ladders.
Who knew that a firefighter would have a ladder? Thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been McKinnon Hansen, your local Farm Bureau financial agent, offering home, auto, life, commercial, and workers' comp insurance. Let us know where you have questions. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. Great information. All right.